welcome to Wedding Secrets with me, Claire. Now, today we are joined by a very special guest who is filled with just some of the most interesting industry inside knowledge, especially when it comes to entertainment for your big day. So trust me, we have got some hints and tips you do not want to miss. Today we are joined by the incredible DJ and MC, the wonderful, incredible DJ Daddy Mack. Hello, DJ Daddy Mack.
Hello, Claire. How are you, love?
I'm very good. We're so excited to have you here at Wedding Secrets. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for picking me.
Now, do you know what, DJ Daddy Mack? We have been looking through all of your amazing music, your mixes, your
great.
website, and we have got so many questions for you. We cannot wait to find out.
Sounds good, love. I'm all yours.
Oh, perfect. Right. Well, we're going to get started right away with our first question. Now, this might seem like an easy question, but DJ Daddy Mack, we need to know. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and exactly what services you offer.
Okay, well, simple very is. I started DJing when I was 16 at a teen nightclub, as I used to go there and dance all the time. And actually, one of my favorite songs, I was a gymnast back then. One of my favorite songs was Earth, Wind, and Fire, Serpentine Fire. And I used to do a backflip on the dance floor. Yeah, on the dance floor, just to impress the women, right? I just started liking the DJ stuff. I started talking to the DJ so much that the guy said, "Oh, hey, you want me to train you?" I said, "I love it." So I hung out there, got trained. And then, of course, most of the DJs in teen nightclubs wanted to go to licensed clubs because they wanted to get in the big league, right? So this one DJ that was there, Kelly Marsh, and who designed T-shirts and stuff, was training me. And then he got a job in a licensed club downtown. Well, the owners came to me and said, "Well, do you want to DJ?" I said, "Well, yeah." And that's when I started out at 16, and I started DJing a teen nightclub. And then from then, I got invited to a licensed club by one of the top DJs in Victoria. And I was only 18, but I was entertainment, so I didn't have to be legal to drink. And so I did that, and he trained me like fantastically. It was wonderful. I even got hooked even more. And I did as it was doing his nights off. And then come the 80s, the beginning of the 80s, I got a job at my first licensed club, which was a gay club downtown. Well, I never had so much fun being a straight guy working in a gay bar. I never had so much fun in all my life. The music was fantastic. The people were fantastic. And the thing is a lot of straight women would go there not to get picked up. But at the end of the night, they'd still want to party. So he's straight. So I ended up having a pretty good time with that. And from then I went to all sorts of different clubs. I made them all number one in Victoria from the way I worked really hard at it. And then in 98, they had the BC Club DJ Spin-Off Championships with records. And I won that one in Victoria. And I did another one in Vancouver. And I won that one in Vancouver. So I was two-time BC Club DJ Spin-Off champion with records.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Again, I am a DJ junkie. I'm so addicted to it. I love doing it. I love pleasing it. If I could do it for free, I would. But of course, you can't.
Yeah, you have to make a living.
That's right. That's true.
It's so interesting. And you said how hard you had to work. I think sometimes it really takes, and this is a key point, I always think with DJing and MCing, the amount of research, of preparation that goes into it.
It's amazing. Well, I tell you, for a wedding and stuff like that, you have to just get everything. I mean, people don't realize what a DJ needs as far as information about music and timing and stuff like that. That once I get a wedding couple, once they made a deposit, I send them off a whole thing of wedding homework. Yeah. It gives them an idea of how the structure their reception can go and their ceremony can go, what kind of music they want, what kind of music they don't want, what their favorite songs are. I mean, it goes on and on and on, that you have to be that much detailed and that much singular focused on them for them to have a good time. It's not you. It's not the DJ. Even though some DJs tend to do that at weddings, tend to want to be the star of the wedding. It's not. It's the biggest social event for a couple to go into. The DJ is just there to supply music.
Definitely. But the thing is just going back, so you said at 16
Yes.
you really got started, you
Right.
work in the club scene, you were doing all types of different bars. That
Hmm.
must have been so, so exciting. And that is
It
really
was.
where am I right in saying you really managed to build that expert level of your craft?
Correct. Well, and when I was trained, when I was in 18, 19, I was trained by one of the top DJs in, I think, Canada, but he was in Victoria. And he trained me all about how to work clubs with music. You can't have them dancing on the floor all the time because nobody's buying drinks. So you have to rotate the floor with different types of music or make some bad mixes. You're looking around and see what's on the floor and see who's sitting down. So you try to pick their kind of music to get them up on the floor. So the one day you're rotating all the time. If you have a lineup outside, you play a lot of bad songs for about 20 minutes and then people leave and fresh money comes in.
It's honest. DJ Daddy Mack, this is fascinating. It's honestly, it's fascinating because people do think it's as simple as pop in some. It's absolutely
Yeah.
not. This is a
No.
whole world in itself. And do you know what? You're right
Correct.
though, because the bar relies on you, the guests rely on you, the security
Mhm.
on the door rely on you.
Correct. That's
It's
right. Yeah.
an absolute key. And when we talk about atmosphere, you're the sole responsible for creating that atmosphere.
Yeah. That's why a lot of clubs I didn't talk very much because I let my music create the energy, create the music, create the energy of the sound and people moving. I didn't have to DJ and talk very much. So
That's fascinating. So, what we
mm,
want to know is so you were doing
yes,
the amazing club scenes, you're having a really good time. What
yes.
made you transition into weddings as well? What was that moment where you thought, oh, I could give this a go?
Well, again, as I told you before, I was one of the top 4 skydivers in Canada, and I used to do world championships around the world. I did 4 world championships, and I was hired by the government in 2003 to teach SARTECs, which are military doctors that get parachuted into airplane crashes for the military. I was hired to teach them advanced freefall skills. Well, I was trying to show off to them when I was coming into land. I was coming in too hot and too fast, and I hit the ground at 60K, which put me in the hospital for 8 months. So that's I was out of the club scene, and so they didn't want a injured guy back in the club scene. So I thought, well, I'm so addicted to DJing, I have to keep going. So I started studying what other people are doing, what other mobile companies are doing, and how they're doing it. And so I did that. I studied that hard. And I thought, well, I got to do this. So then I opened up DJ Daddy Mack Sound and Design. I helped design my own website with it and all the stuff going up to it. And so at that point, I turned in and said, hey, I got to do entertainment. And to do that, I dug in and said, well, what can you do? Weddings. Well, what does it take to do a wedding? So I read up on all sorts of people criticize them, what the couples want, what they don't want, what bad DJs are doing, what good DJs are doing. And I tried to put it all together in a pile and present it out there. And so far, it's going really, really well. I love doing weddings. I love seeing the reaction of friends and family when I do a wedding and how it becomes wonderful.
That's amazing. And do you know, honest, to hear about your accident, it's terrible, but it's
Yeah.
giving you that time to sit down and really, and this is what I find fascinating about you. You've not just gone right into it, you've done your research like you did with the
Mm-hmm.
club scene. You've brought your skills, you've done your research
Yeah.
because you're right. It is all about the couple on that big day, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But
Full on. Yeah.
while
You
we're
bet.
talking about your business, apart from weddings, obviously I know, but for our viewers, what are the services that
Yeah.
you offer as well? Tell us a bit about those too.
Oh, the thing is for my wedding couples, I always give them a gift certificate, first anniversary or birthday party or something like that, so that they'll hire me again. But I do everything. I'm hired already for this year for a prom and a grad, and I do those, and I'm hired back to do the grads again because this grad I did at St. Margaret's, private school, they loved me so much they're having me back, which is wonderful, and that's how I got into doing that stuff. I just love DJing so much. Any excuse to DJ, I will do because I love it. And I love turning it around and making it their day, making it a school's day, making it a person's birthday. Also, with this new pandemic that's happened, I've jumped into the online thing. A lot of DJs around here are saying, well, no, why are you doing it? Because it's going to be over soon. Well, that was 2 years ago. And I jumped into it right away. And now I offer, because there's no dancing at weddings, I offer a ceremony that I can stream online as well. And I do it not on social media sites. I do it off my website, which has a private and public channel. The private channel for my customers is password protected.
I'm so glad that you covered that as well, because I saw that on your website, and it's good because it shows that you've said, okay, there's a pandemic, no one can go. And you're right, lots of weddings and ceremonies and services had to really change what they were doing. And to be able to still
Correct.
have those amazing attributes, such as DJs, such as music, such as entertainment, it really is.
Correct.
It's just incredible. Now, I also saw on your website that you even have your generator. So you can literally go anywhere.
Correct. Well, the thing is because the latter part of the year, they're saying, well, you can have a wedding with a lot of people, but it's got to be outside. And I'm thinking, well, what? There's not a lot of power outside in these fields and stuff. Like I did a wedding, a sort of a country wedding up in Courtenay, up Island, and they were on a farm, and their ceremony was up on a berm on a hill. Well, it was 100 feet away from any power outage or any barn. So I took my really quiet 2,000-watt generator up there, and with my Bluetooth speaker, and I had all my music for the ceremony on my phone. And I had that wired into a mixing board that also had a microphone for the officiant. And so, and the generator is really, really quiet. Like it's quiet. I have it in a half shell, so it's 25 feet away. And so that it's quiet. It's people are there for the ceremony. I have all the music on my phone, and it's really easy and great. But now what I can do is I've done it for a graduation last year. They did it on a field because they had to have all the kids outside. So I took my generator and put it on the field in the soccer field they had outside, and I could do music no problem to the whole yard.
That's on it. It's so good to hear, because literally the amount of people, they find these amazing locations, and then you do find problems, especially in Ireland. I know very well.
Yeah, that's right.
You find these remote, gorgeous locations, and you think, how on earth am I going to be able to bring these services? But then when you find wedding experts in the industry like yourself who have already thought of that for you, it's taken away all the stress, hasn't it? Brilliant.
Well, that's the thing too, and I like to offer that to. That's an offer I put out there to everybody too. Say, because a lot of them will have, like I had a Halloween wedding, which is one of the most fun weddings I had, was last year on October 30th, 31st. And their ceremony was in a vineyard field out by a cider making place. And so it was in the field. So I took my generator out there with my speaker, and I just fired up, and away they went. And of course, it was full on straight up dress ceremony, but then the reception was full on costume.
Did you dress up?
Well, yeah, I went. Well, I got time to go because I got to set up early at the hall. Was great because I set up early in the daytime, because then I could go home from the ceremony, drop my speaker and generator off, and get dressed. I got dressed up into a 70s pimp DJ.
That is perfect.
With all sorts of bling and everything. Yeah. So
I love that. That would have been perfect on the DJ decks with all of your bling on.
Yeah, all the
brilliant
purple thing with the hat and everything. Oh yeah, it was great.
I love it. Now, another thing that I also noticed you do, and it was really nice to see it actually. Not only do you do DJing, but you do the MCing as well.
And that takes a while because I charge a little bit extra for that. But I also have what I have for the couples when they have a family MC is I send them a whole script that they have to do. They have to get stuff like telegrams and introduce the people properly and that kind of thing, right? So I send that all to the family, so their family MC has a structure for them to work with.
It's amazing. See, when I said tell me about the services you offer, you didn't mention that one. That is really that next level, isn't it? Oh my.
Well, again, it's the harder I work, the easier it is for them, and the easier it looks for me. But if you don't work hard, then all sorts of stuff can be thrown into the cogs, and things don't roll anymore. Whereas I do everything with the couple that I can, and I just say, look, what do you need? What don't you need? What you want? What don't you want? Because these days with music and stuff like that, I have clean lyric versions of all the songs I have, because you don't only have regular people at weddings anymore. You have families with kids and older people that maybe sensitive to sound, that kind of thing. So you have to cover all those bases. So that's why, because I do schools a lot, I have clean lyric versions of all the top 40 and pop stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
Even hip hop.
It's honestly, it's so nice because that's it. You are catering. Obviously, it's the couple's big day, but you're still
Yes.
catering for everybody else that's in the room.
That's the thing, and the big thing about that too is all the couples say, "Oh yeah, we're going to party till 1 o'clock in the morning, blah